It's 6:10, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Julie, would you do roll call, please?
Sure, Barbara Dayton,
Here.
Tim Frazier,
Here.
Dave Conlon,
Here.
Pat Brabant,
Here.
and Amy Revere is absent.
Thank you. If we could all rise to the pledge of allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
All right, just a rehash of what we've been talking about all along.
Can everybody see okay? My new way?
Let me make this,
Just the hour though.
which I have.
You guys want a couple of that are in the back?
When I was playing with it earlier, it advanced one slide at a time, which is perfect.
Just to clarify, is this not being broadcast?
The right one?
No, LTV, it was too soon for them to get it going.
It wasn't on our original calendar.
Well, he is recording it, we are gonna post it on the website when it's done.
Okay.
All right, this slide shows you some of the issues that impacted our budget. The tax cap obviously is one. Education department's unfunded mandates continue. New generation standards and, of course, the tuition to East Hampton High School. Priorities, I know this is a little bit small, but continue to provide safe and secure school atmosphere. COVID-19 continues to be a concern. Continue to work with community agencies to maximize programs and services for all students. Continue to support rigorous and relevant learning opportunities in and outside the school building. Preserve all current programs and services. Maintain class size. Maintain athletic and co-curricular offerings for students. Encourage and support our professional staff in obtaining grants to support new initiatives. Continuing with the priorities, continue to support social and emotional learning initiatives. Continue to encourage students' participation in real-life problem-solving opportunities. Continue to expand students' knowledge on how to use technology. Continue to support arts, music, and theater programs. Continue communication with the community and celebrate our successes. Continue to apply for competitive grants that will enhance our programs, and continue to address facilities as it relates to safety and cost-saving efficiencies. Again, the appropriations is Proposition 1, our appropriation budget. This is breaks it down into, got it in 4 component areas, and really the program is one combined, but like they did last year, I separated out the K-12 tuition from the regular costs of running this school. So you can see that the K-12 tuition represents is a 7.6% increase. The running of our school here, the tuition, the non-tuition, is 3.78%. Capital component went up by 28.63%, and again, I mentioned it before, it's in large part because the full amount of the bond for this addition is hitting principal and interest for this year. And then the administrative costs went up 3.74%. These are the breakdowns of the administration, all of the different components: Board of Ed, Central Admin, Finance, Legal Services, Personnel Services, Public Information, Central Printing, Mailing, and Data Processing, District Insurance, BOCES, admin charges and other services, Curriculum Development and Supervision, and then the employee benefits for the staff that work in the categories in administration. And again, it's a 3.74% increase over last year. The capital component includes operation of plant, maintenance of plant, which is basically our custodians and our maintenance people. We have no COVID-19, I should have deleted that line, but it snuck in there. Security remains the same. Debt service, as I said before, it's up by 61.52%, or $447,000. Employee benefits for the employees that work within the capital component are represented on that line. and program. This includes legal, in-service training, a regular school, which basically covers all of the teacher salaries, the TA salaries for the regular school component. Special ed, same thing, most of it's the salaries of teachers, TAs, and the like. I've got tuition to regular school, that's the, mostly the tuition to East Hampton High School. We have tuition for special ed, which is a lot of its BOCES and some of the residential programs. School, library, and AV, which is a small amount. Instructions, salaries, supplies, contractual BOCES, transportation, and then we've got the transfers to other funds, and again, the employee benefits related to the employees who work within the program category. So total program goes up by 5.15%. Our total budget increases by 6.78%, going from $30,800,000 to $32,889,000, or almost $2,089,000 increase. Our estimated revenues, and I factored in the results from the most recent state aid runs, which actually for Springs, when you take out the universal pre-K, our state aid went down by $12,000. It didn't go up like everybody else. And a lot of that was due to the high cost excess aid. So state aid, I have as a modest 3.18% over last year. Local revenues, a 4.29% increase. Fund balance and reserves, we're increasing that quite a bit. The biggest piece is the appropriated fund balance that we're going to use to help keep the tax levy down. So that went up by almost 54% in order to keep the tax levy at the tax cap of 5.46%. Our budget outlook, the current budget at $30,800,000 versus the proposed budget of $32,889,000, a budget increase of $2,089,000 or 6.78%. Our revenue, budget outlook for revenues, last year's tax levy was $27,589,000. This year it's projected to be $29,096,000. Tax levy increase of $1,507,000 or 5.46% increase, which is the tax at the tax cap. Tax levy at 5.46. This table shows you a house with a fair market value estimated at $344,828 would have a $121.92 increase for the year. A house going down to the bottom of $1,379,000 would have a tax increase of $487.68 for the year. Our basic star, the basic star is $307 per $1,000 of assessed value. And the enhanced star is $689,000, not very different than it was last year. The equalization rate for the community is still the same at 0.58%, and the estimated property tax per $1,000 of assessed value is $1,177.03. Proposition number 2 that's going to be put for the voters is going to be to purchase one large passenger bus, including two-way radio, equipment and security cameras, and recording devices for the safety and security of passengers for an amount not to exceed the estimated maximum cost of $135,000. We've been doing this each year, buying a new bus and replacing an old bus. We've got some buses still in the fleet that were bought in 2008. They're really well past their useful life, and we're trying hard to get rid of the old ones and replenish the fleet. Proposition number 3 is to replace the K1 playground out front over here, to draw down $480,000 from the 2014 additions, renovations, and upgrade capital reserve for the purpose of replacing the kindergarten and K1 playground at Spring School. This will result in no additional cost to the taxpayers. The money is in the reserve. We just want to have permission to pull it out to use it to replace that playground. What if the budget, what happens if the budget does not pass? This is, something we have to present every year. Chapter 436 of the laws of 1997 establish limits on a contingent budget. If a proposed budget does not pass the public vote, the Board of Ed could either revise the budget and put it up for a revote or adopt a contingent budget. Most equipment items will be eliminated, including any transfers to capital for facilities or capital expenditures. Field trips and non-mandatory programs would need to be cut in order to achieve a 0% tax levy increase. And that's the key thing. On a contingent budget, the tax levy can't change. It has to stay what it was last year.
Plus all your propositions don't go forward. 1, 2, and 3, if it doesn't pass.
I think you may be right, I'm not sure.
Even if people
I'm
vote in
positive.
favor of those?
Even
I'm
if they
pretty sure,
voted in
yeah, I
favor
think you're
for
right,
it,
I think you're right, the
Yeah.
propositions would not,
they would not go ahead,
not go
even
ahead.
if people voted for it because of the fact the budget is down.
that's right.
And we'll have pictures of the playground at our next board meeting.
So that means the playground would not be allowed to go forward, even though there's no impact on the taxpayers. Important dates, May 9th is a Monday, and that's the budget hearing to the public. And on May 17th is the annual meeting, budget vote, and trustee election. And I think that budget vote is from 1 to 9,
Was
and it'll be here in this library. And that's it, questions, discussion?
Great, thank you very much, Mark. Anybody have any questions on the budget at this time? Yes, we have.
And I know Mike has
Yes,
been
sir.
many hours.
Thank you.
Sounds great, Mike, thanks very much.
Mike, how does it, if we pull the bus proposition, how does that help us with the budget
In
this year?
2022-23, it won't. Because what you'll do is you'll borrow the money to buy the bus, but you're not gonna start making payments until the following year.
So it doesn't help us
Doesn't
at all.
Not for 22-23.
And when you look at our tax bump in terms of the assessed value, how does do you see? I see, that's a big number going up for everybody in the community. That looks like it plateaus though, in a sense, because a lot of that is the capital project,
Yeah,
and that is going to be more or less like your mortgage payment.
correct.
And once, we're not gonna
And if
see
you
bumps
recall-
like that year after year going
Yeah.
forward.
No, I don't see bumps like that year after year unless something really weird happens, like all of a sudden you get 50 to 100 more students coming into the district. But as you said, with the bond, it's now gonna hit its limit, so it's gonna be a little over about $1.1 million or so every year for the next 20 years until the bond is paid off. Just like the middle school bond,
Right, we just paid that off.
just this, on the 14th, that last payment is being made, and then we don't have that in the future. So 20 years from now, this bond will be all done as well. And maybe you'll have another bond, who knows?
And it sounds like the state budget that was passed just in the last few days doesn't
Doesn't
really
help us.
change us.
Actually, it reduced the total state aid to us by about $12,000.
Right.
Even though it shows like we got more, we got about $130,000 in additional money for the universal pre-K program.
And we're trying to determine whether that's for more students, or is that because the cost of doing business has gone up? Like I was just pricing lunch, because when you have a full day, you have to provide lunch. And there's no way that lunch is gonna come in at $6 a kid. But I haven't gotten a response from state ed on what is that additional money for?
Wait, so that's, in addition to the grant to run the whole pre-K program, there was an additional
Additional
130.
$130,000.
So
Okay.
what's your cost per pupil for pre-K at this point, given that,
When I wrote the grant, it was 10,000
per pupil?
per
okay.
pupil, but that includes your supplies, your equipment.
Right, the going rate out there is around 13 for private.
So, they did say that there was an increased cost of doing business, and I know that they wanted to pay the daycare workers more money. So I wanna get that information,
I'm sure that's what it's for then.
that's what I'm thinking.
So we got 130 for that, but we lost 12,000 for
12,000.
general.
Right,
From what's called the excess cost aid,
the excess
which,
cost, yeah, it's, was high-cost students, special ed,
so we didn't have the numbers that we used to have, so therefore that was reduced.
starts coming down, yeah.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby adopts the budget for the 2022-2023 school year in the amount of $32,888,866 and directs the district clerk to present the adopted budget.
$886.
Didn't I say 886?
You said 66.
Oh, sorry, 886. And directs the district clerk to present the adopted budget as a proposition on the ballot to be presented to the residents of the school district at the annual budget vote and election to be held on May 17th, 2022. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education also adopts the attached property tax report card and directs the superintendent of schools to submit the property tax report card to the State Education Department by the end of the business day immediately following the board's adoption, but no later than 24 days prior to the date of the annual budget vote and election as required by Education Law Section 1716(7). Parentheses. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you very much. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very
Thank you
much
very much.
for doing this early, I appreciate
No,
it
great.
because, with the Christmas